I will be starting this session by introducing our speaker for today. So just give me a minute, please. Yes, is my screen visible to all?
Yes, yes.
Yes. So we are having a very eminent speaker today. She is Dr. Bella Verma. She's professor and head of pediatrics, Grand Medical College and Sir JJ Hospital, Mumbai. She is member of Maharashtra Task Force for Pediatric COVID Management 2021, CIAP Executive Body Member 2021, President Indian Academy of Pediatrics, Mumbai from 2018 to 2019. She was honorary treasurer IAP Mumbai 2013 to 2016. She has numerous international and national publications to her name, and her special areas of interest are community pediatrics, infectious diseases, and nutrition. We are very honored to have you over here, madam. And with this, if it is okay, we may please start with the session. Dr. Verma, may we please start with the session?
Yes, please.
Yes, okay. So just a second. I'll stop the share. All right. Okay, so ma'am, first is my very important question to you. जैसे मैंने आपसे बताया था कि ये सेशन हम हिंदी और इंग्लिश कंबाइंड में करेंगे क्योंकि this is for the community. So basically we'll try to make it as simple to understand for the community, leaving aside our medical jargon. हम थोड़ा सा medical language छोड़ के थोड़ा कम्युनिटी को समझ में आएगी उस लैंग्वेज में हम बात करने का कोशिश करेंगे मैडम. सो ये जो वेव्स हम सुन रहे हैं कि कोविड का वेव चल रहा है, तीसरा वेव आया है, सो हम ये वेव यानी क्या होता है, थोड़ा सा वेव्स के बारे में समझाएंगे और क्या हम कोविड के तीसरे वेव में हैं इस वक्त?
जी, गुड मॉर्निंग टू एवरीवन. हम सब जानते हैं पिछले 2 साल से हम कोविड पैंडेमिक झेल रहे हैं. पूरे विश्व में ये इन्फेक्शन चल रहा है. वेव्स का मतलब ये है कि एक तरह से केसेस ऊपर जाते हैं, वो एक पीक पे पहुंचते हैं, कुछ दिन वो पीक मेंटेन होती है, प्लेटोइंग, और फिर वो केसेस नीचे आने लगते हैं. सो दैट इज वन वेव एंड इट कैन बी सम वीक्स और सम मंथ्स, कुछ महीनों का भी ये वेव रह सकता है. फिर 2-3 महीने कुछ नहीं है, केसेस कम रहते हैं, फिर से केसेस बढ़ने लगते हैं, एक दूसरी पीक आती है और वो फिर से नीचे आती है. सो ये जो अलग अलग पीक्स आ रही हैं, इनको हम वेव्स बोलते हैं. और ये देखा गया है जब ये पैंडेमिक होता है किसी भी वायरस की वजह से, जैसे हम कुछ पैंडेमिक्स ऑलरेडी झेल चुके हैं पिछले सदियों में, तो ये फर्स्ट वेव, सेकेंड वेव, थर्ड वेव, फोर्थ वेव, so these are infections which are coming because of different variants of the virus. यानी कि वो वायरस, जैसे कि यहाँ पे ये कोरोना वायरस था 2019 में जो वुहान में डिटेक्ट हुआ था, और उसका रूप थोड़ा कोरोना वायरस से अपने अलग था, इसलिए उसे नोवेल कोरोना वायरस का नाम दिया गया था. और उसने फर्स्ट वेव में बहुत कुछ नुकसान किया, स्पेशली भारत में, हम जानते हैं. और कुछ महीने की केसेस लो थी हमारी, और अब सेकेंड वेव आया लास्ट ईयर, जो एक वेरिएंट ने किया. वेरिएंट यानी उस वायरस ने अपना रूप बदला है. तो जैसे हम कपड़े बदलते हैं, तो वायरस वही है, उसने अपने कपड़े बदले हैं, यानी वो एक दूसरे रूप में आया है, दूसरे म्यूटेशंस में आया है. और वो वायरस जो डेल्टा था, वो बहुत ही तीव्र था. जैसे हमें पता है कि डेल्टा और डेल्टा प्लस पिछले साल जो इंडिया में प्रोमिनेंट स्ट्रेन्स थे, उन्होंने भी बहुत नुकसान किया है. इसके अलावा ये वायरस ने 10 से 15,000 म्यूटेशंस कर चुके हैं, बट वो सारे म्यूटेटेड स्ट्रेन्स ने हमें नुकसान नहीं पहुंचाया. लेकिन अब ये जो तीसरा है, अभी ऑलरेडी अल्फा, बीटा, डेल्टा, डेल्टा प्लस ये हो गए हैं. डेल्टा अभी भी चल रहा है इंडिया में, और अभी जो रूप बदल के आया है ओमिक्रॉन. So these are named according to Greek alphabets. These are Greek alphabets. So alpha, beta, delta. बीच में लैम्डा और गैमा भी आया था, लेकिन उसने इंडिया में कोई नुकसान नहीं किया. अब ये ओमिक्रॉन आया है, जो अगेन एक ग्रीक अल्फाबेट पे है. इसने कम से कम 50 म्यूटेशंस देखे गए हैं, जिसमें से 30 उसके स्पाइक प्रोटीन में है. So it has undergone such a change that it is having changes in the spike protein, the protein with which it attaches to human cells and enters inside. So it has undergone a change, a physical change. So these are called variants. So every variant is not harmful. हर वेरिएंट से हमको नुकसान नहीं हो रहा है. जिस वेरिएंट से हमको नुकसान हो रहा है उसे वेरिएंट ऑफ कंसर्न कहा गया है. जैसे कि अब ये ओमिक्रॉन है जो वेरिएंट ऑफ कंसर्न है, और ये तीसरी वेव है जो इंडिया में शुरू हो चुकी है. जो हम देख रहे हैं केसेस बढ़ रहे हैं, दिस इज द थर्ड वेव, and we will peak again. So we will again reach a maximum number of cases. We may be like that for few days, और फिर वो केसेस नीचे आने लगेंगे. तो ये थर्ड वेव हो जाएगा. अब ये कोई नहीं प्रिडिक्ट कर सकता है, कोई भविष्यवाणी नहीं कर सकता है कि और कितनी वेव्स आनी है इस पैंडेमिक में. None of us can predict, because ये वायरस ही अलग है और इसके बारे में हमें कोई जानकारी नहीं है. We are learning as it is going. Day to day we are learning something new.
Yes. So basically क्योंकि ये वायरस ही नया है, so इसलिए हमें ये वायरस के बारे में कुछ भी जानकारी नहीं है. और because the common people may not know, लेकिन वायरस इसका टेंडेंसी ही रहता है म्यूटेट करना. So कोई भी वायरस रहेगा तो वो म्यूटेट करता है यानी वो अपना जेनेटिक सीक्वेंस बदलता है. और जो जेनेटिक सीक्वेंस बदलता है तो वो नया जेनेटिक सीक्वेंस या तो ह्यूमंस के लिए हार्मफुल होगा या नहीं होगा. वो जिस तरह से स्प्रेड होने लगेगा उसके बाद ही समझता है कि उसके अंदर किस तरह के चेंजेस आए हैं और वो ह्यूमंस में किस तरह से प्रॉब्लम्स दे रहा है. सो मैडम, नाउ विद दिस आई वांट टू आस्क, विद दिस ओमिक्रॉन बीइंग द डोमिनेंट वन, इज दिस द ओनली वेरिएंट ऑफ कंसर्न राइट नाउ, और एज यू राइटली सेड कि डेल्टा एंड ओमिक्रॉन दोनों इस वक्त अपना जोर दिखा रहे हैं. सो मुझे आपसे ये पूछना है कि हर एक वेरिएंट के साथ में उसके सिम्टम्स थोड़े से बदल जाते हैं क्योंकि वायरस ने अपना स्वरूप बदल लिया है. सो वो बदला हुआ स्वरूप जो है उससे या तो इन्फेक्शन में तेजी आएगी, या तो लक्षण में तेजी आएगी, या तो कम हो जाएंगे. तो इस वक्त हम क्या देख रहे हैं कि ये वेव में क्या दिख रहा है हमें?
जी, तो जो ये ओमिक्रॉन वेरिएंट आया है, इसके जो लक्षण है ये कम तीव्र है. इट इज कॉजिंग माइल्ड इलनेस, यानी जैसे अपर रेस्पिरेटरी ट्रैक इन्फेक्शन. तो बुखार, सर्दी, खांसी, गले में बहुत ज्यादा दर्द होना, थोड़ा बॉडी एक होना, लाइक वी यूज्ड टू हैव फ्लू. So it is like similar to influenza infection where we have body ache, high fever, cough, cold. But it is highly infectious, very, very transmissible. इसलिए cases बहुत तेजी से बढ़ रहे हैं. Though it is not causing a severe disease, but in people with comorbidities or in older people, it is still causing mortality, and especially in people who have not taken the vaccine. सो वैक्सीनेशन जो हुआ है हमारा पिछले साल से, जिन लोगों ने वैक्सीन नहीं ली है या एक ही डोज ली है, उनमें ज्यादा खतरा है.
यस मैडम, सो दिस इज व्हाट आई वांटेड टू आस्क, इसकी शायद हम जो बहुत इस वक्त सुनने लगे हैं कि ओमिक्रॉन माइल्ड है, ओमिक्रॉन से डरो मत, आप बिल्कुल बाहर घूमो, इससे नेचुरल आपको इन्फेक्शन हो जाएगा और एक बार में खत्म हो जाएगा. बट ये चीज लोगों को समझना बहुत जरूरी है कि सिर्फ ओमिक्रॉन इस वक्त नहीं है. इस वक्त ओमिक्रॉन और डेल्टा, अब कौन सा वायरस हमें हुआ है वो देखने के लिए तो जीन सीक्वेंसिंग करना पड़ेगा, और वो जीन सीक्वेंसिंग का रिजल्ट आने के लिए 15 दिन लग जाते हैं. तब तक तो हमें जो इन्फेक्शन हुआ है या तो वो हमें अच्छा करेगा या खराब करेगा. सो बेसिकली एवरीबडी हैज टू थिंक अबाउट इट कि ओमिक्रॉन अगर माइल्ड भी है तो भी वो बहुत इन्फेक्शियस है. जिनकी इम्यूनिटी अच्छी है उन्हें शायद तो वो कम प्रॉब्लम देगा, लेकिन जिनकी इम्यूनिटी लो है उन्हें वो अभी भी ज्यादा इन्फेक्शन देने की कैपेसिटी रखता है. यस मैडम, सो माय क्वेश्चन नाउ विल चेंज दैट वी आर सीइंग, हम जो एमईडीडी रिपोर्ट रोज देख रहे हैं कि रोज के रोज महाराष्ट्र गवर्नमेंट और रादर गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया इज पुटिंग आउट द रिपोर्ट डेली कि कितने लोग इन्फेक्ट हुए हैं. अब उसमें हम जब महाराष्ट्र की बात करते हैं तो हम देख रहे हैं कि अप टू 10 years द नंबर ऑफ इन्फेक्टेड परसेंटेज इज 3.18%. And up to 11 to 20 years, the infected number of people is 7.47% is what we are seeing. So now what I want to ask is for the common understanding of people कि बच्चों में COVID-19 हम जो देख रहे हैं तो वो हर बार से ज्यादा है. जैसे हम पिछले वेव में डर रहे थे, प्रेडिक्शंस चल रहे थे कि ये जो थर्ड वेव आएगा वो शायद बच्चों के लिए मेजॉरिटी प्रॉब्लम्स लेकर आएगा. सो क्या हम उस तरह से इस वक्त देख रहे हैं?
इट्स टू अर्ली टू से, क्योंकि थर्ड वेव जस्ट स्टार्ट हुआ है. लेकिन जो फर्स्ट और सेकेंड वेव में देखा गया है कि जो 1 से 10 साल की उम्र के बच्चे हैं उनमें इन्फेक्शन 7.5 to 8% रहा है, और जो 11 to 20 इयर्स के हैं उनमें अराउंड 10% रहा है। और अब की बार हमने ये कहा था, प्रिडिक्ट हुआ था कि थर्ड वेव में बच्चे ज्यादा इन्फेक्ट होंगे। ऐसा कुछ ज्यादा अभी दिखा नहीं है, बिकॉज इट हैज जस्ट स्टार्टेड, मे बी 2 weeks now. We are into the third wave. Let us see what happens in the coming weeks. But yes, earlier 2 waves, the coronavirus and delta virus did not infect the children much because they were affecting the lungs, and the children do not have the ACE receptors, so they were being saved by this virus, from this virus. If at all they were asymptomatic or they had very mild infection, but they were carriers, they were super spreaders. These children were spreading it to their family. Right. So even now, even if they are asymptomatic or mild, children will still spread it to adults. And from where do children get the infection? From the seniors or elders in their house who are going out of the house and who are not following the COVID appropriate behavior.
Well said.
So that is how children play a role. And yes, children have been affected. Those children with chronic illnesses and comorbidities have had very severe COVID infection and have succumbed to the disease also.
Okay, ma'am. So my next question is that जैसे हमने बताया कि आपने कि इस वक्त जो सिम्टम्स चल रहे हैं वो थोड़े से अपर रेस्पिरेटरी ट्रैक्ट के इन्फेक्शंस दिख रहे हैं, ऐसे कौन से सिम्टम्स होंगे जिसके बारे में पेरेंट्स को पता होना चाहिए कि दे आर वरीसम सिम्टम्स, कि अगर ऐसा कुछ होता है तो शायद प्रॉब्लम थोड़ा बढ़ रहा है और उनको इमीडिएट मेडिकल अटेंशन की जरूरत है?
जी, इस वेव की बात करें, ओमिक्रॉन की बात करें, तो इसमें फीवर आता है. इट कैन बी लो ग्रेड 100, 101. इट कैन बी हाई ग्रेड फीवर with body ache, sore throat, cough, etc., malaise, pain. But it is a very short infection. It is seen for 2-3 days, relieved with symptomatic treatment, paracetamol, etc. And by 4th day, the patient is all right. But if the fever is persistent beyond 3 days, if there is abdominal pain, vomiting, and पेट में दर्द है, उल्टी जुलाब है, बच्चा सुस्त हो रहा है या आकड़ी आ गई है, and most important, all of us have learned to take pulse ox at home. Most of us have the finger pulse ox at home. अगर pulse oximeter are the danger signs, what we call the red flag signs. तो ये लक्षण हमें माता पिता को बताना बहुत जरूरी है कि फिलहाल बच्चे को माइल्ड सिम्टम्स हैं, बट उनको कुछ भी नया दिखाई दिया या वो सिम्टम्स 3 दिन से ज्यादा चले तो उनको तुरंत हॉस्पिटल या डॉक्टर के पास जाना चाहिए.
ओके, ग्रेट मैडम. सो माय नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन इज, अब एक सिनेरियो कंसिडर करते हैं कि मेरा बच्चा है और मेरे बच्चे को थोड़ा सा सर्दी है, खांसी है और थोड़ा हल्का हल्का बुखार आ रहा है, मुझे पता नहीं है क्या है. सो इस वक्त इस फेज में मुझे क्या करना चाहिए, आगे क्या करना चाहिए?
जी, सबसे पहले बच्चा हो या एडल्ट हो, किसी को भी घर में बुखार आ रहा है, वी अज्यूम नाउ इट टू बी अ कोविड इन्फेक्शन. We know that there are other viral infections also which we used to face, but we never bothered about them. So now if anyone has fever, cough, upper respiratory symptoms or breathing difficulty, we assume कि ये COVID infection है. It is better to take the advice of a doctor. Many hospitals have now started the fever clinic again, where fever patients are seen. So you can approach the doctor, local doctor, and if required, if there has been a COVID positive person in the family, the child will be tested. What we do routinely in our OPD is we do the rapid antigen test in the OPD itself, and we decide whether it is positive. The problem is in a city like Mumbai, where people are living in very small houses, there is no room for isolation. So if you say quarantine at home and there is only 1 or 2 room house, so that person doesn't have a separate room for themselves. That is the time when we say if there are mild symptoms, if you cannot quarantine at home, isolate in a COVID care center. even if there are mild symptoms. But if a child is admitted, the mother has to be with the child.
Yes.
So there are few things when we talk about quarantine or isolation. You should have a separate room. You should have a proper mask. You should not come out of the room. And you should have a separate bathroom and toilet to use, which is like next to impossible in a city like Mumbai, where there are so many slums, there are common bathrooms, there is one bathroom in the house, and often senior citizens are staying with the family. So it becomes difficult to tell them all this. That time, I ask them to get admitted in a COVID center for 5 to 7 days, because this illness is mild and we are advising only 7 days isolation.
Yes.
Suppose we do not test this child. Many people will not test. Then what to do? We still tell them, wear proper mask even at home. Now, coming to mask, I would like to tell in detail now itself that N95 is the best mask, but everybody cannot afford it. Therefore, the next best is the 3-ply surgical mask, which can be worn double, 2 masks for protection from Omicron. And the third is a cloth mask, which many people are wearing. A single layer, double layer are useless. They are useless. They will give you no protection. You need a 3-layer cloth mask. Means what? The 3 layers, वो जो 3 परतें हैं कपड़ों की, वो अलग-अलग material की हैं. So one is cotton, one is silk, one is terracotta. So you have 3-layer mask. Secondly, the mask has to cover the nose and the mouth. यहाँ fashion है कि खाली मुंह पे मास्क रहता है, नाक खुली रहती है या मास्क गले में लटका रहता है. Better not to wear a mask if you're going to wear it like this, because it enters from here. So people do not wear a mask properly, and that is a major problem in India. Please understand that. So one is a proper tight fitting mask. Secondly, after you're wearing the mask, please do not touch the front part of your mask. That is a place which has got the viruses and bacteria. Remove it from the ear strings of your hand.
Absolutely.
If you have worn a mask for 8 hours, 8 घंटे मास्क पहना है, वो फेंकना है अगर डिस्पोजेबल है, और अगर वो क्लॉथ का है उसको गर्म पानी और साबुन में भिगो के रखना है, अच्छे से धोना है, सुखाना है और फिर पहनना है. So people go on reusing that mask without washing, and it is all entrapped with virus bacteria. So they are not doing any good to themselves. This is what they should understand. And next is how to dispose of the mask. That is, if you have a disposable 3-layer N95, you are supposed to keep it in a paper bag, cut it out. It should not be reused by the kachra wala. It's looking clean, he can sell it off. No, cut it, cut the strings, cut the mask, put it, disinfect it, or keep it like that for 3 days. Collect all the mask and keep it separate from your routine ghar ka kachra. It has to go as a separate disposable for the incineration. So mask is not so easy. People do not know the details of a mask. And this is one of the mistakes they do. So one is not wearing properly, not proper mask, not disposing properly. If you have touched your mask, better to sanitize or wash your hands. So if I can, at this juncture, talk about CAB a little, that is COVID appropriate behavior. One, I have told you about the mask. Second is maintaining a distance, what we say a social distancing. Now, if anyone without a mask coughs or sneezes, please understand that the droplets or the airborne bacteria or virus travels up to 10 feet. So if this is a closed room, 10 by 10, I have infected the whole room. And the virus will remain suspended in the air for long. So if this is a closed room, this room is going to have the virus for long. That is why we say, one, keep your windows and doors open. Let it be a well-ventilated room. Let the airflow be there. Second, cover your nose and mouth while sneezing or coughing. Better still, wear a mask if you're having upper respiratory infection. Keep a distance between 2 people. So if 2 people both are wearing appropriate tight mask, the risk of infection from being transmitted is less than 1%. Okay, so that is why we say keep a social distance and wear mask. And the third, hand washing or sanitizer. Now, hand washing is not like this. It is a proper 20 to 30 minute wash with a procedure of 8 steps. So you have this, So washing in between your fingers, palms, thumbs, and wrist. And say happy birthday to you, sing it twice. So it is 20 to 30 seconds. This is required because the virus, the upper coat of the virus, dissolves only by soap or alcohol. So if we want to destroy that virus, if we have touched it, it is by 20 to 30 seconds of strict rubbing the hands with soap in a proper manner, or using an alcohol-based sanitizer if we do not have soap and water. Again, about 5 ml is taken and we do the same thing with it till it dries off. Okay, so even the nails have to be scrubbed. This is also one of the steps. So if you remember all the steps, every time you wash your hand, you sanitize your hand for 20 to 30 seconds, you have got rid of the virus. So COVID appropriate behavior, SMS, that is social distancing, wearing a mask and sanitization of the hands, will give you 100% protection from the virus infection. So these are some basics which even educated people do not know, do not follow, and do not teach their children. Small children also wear masks. They are comfortable. Many of them wear a proper nice mask. If a child is uncomfortable, he can remove it. But above 5 years, insist on a mask for a child also. Below 5 years, if the child is comfortable, make him wear a proper 3-layer cloth mask, because children are asymptomatic carriers and they spread it to others.
Yes, madam. So I think you have summed it up very beautifully. I think ये जो मास्क पहनने का लोगों का अलग-अलग तरीका है, उसके ऊपर तो एक पूरा एनसाइक्लोपीडिया बन सकता है, क्योंकि इतने सारे अलग-अलग तरीके से लोगों को मास्क पहनते हुए देखा गया है. एंड अनफॉर्चुनेटली आपने जो बताया कि स्नीज और कफ करेंगे तो माउथ कवर करिए. अनफॉर्चुनेटली व्हाट वी सी इन कॉमन पब्लिक इज व्हाइल स्नीजिंग एंड कफिंग दे विल इवेंचुअली रिमूव देयर मास्क, कफ, sneeze and then wear it again. So we are seeing an absolutely wrong COVID inappropriate behavior जो हमें देखने के लिए मिलती है. So let us just sum it up कि आपने जो बताया कि अगर मेरे बच्चे को इस वक्त अगर बुखार है, yeah, so hi Vishwanath, Dr. Vishwanath sir, we can see your grandchild. So basically अगर मेरे बच्चे को इस वक्त बुखार है तो हम ये मान के चल रहे हैं इस वक्त, क्योंकि थर्ड वेव चालू है, ये कोविड का फीवर रहेगा, ऐसा हम इस वक्त मान के चलते हैं. तुरंत आपके बच्चे को प्लीज आइसोलेट कर दीजिए, और अगर जो भी मैडम ने बताया है कि कोविड अप्रोप्रिएट बिहेवियर है वो पहले भी फॉलो करें, और आइसोलेशन के बाद भी जो जरूरी चीजें हैं वो जरूर करें. टेस्ट जरूर करें, क्योंकि इस वक्त हम देख रहे हैं कि टेस्ट से लोग थोड़ा सा परहेज कर रहे हैं, टेस्ट करने से हिचकिचा रहे हैं, समझ के कि पॉजिटिव आएगा तो अनफॉर्चुनेटली एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन की तरफ से थोड़ा सा दबाव आ जाएगा अलग करने के लिए. लेकिन हम इस वक्त इसमें ये नहीं समझ रहे हैं, टेस्ट नहीं करने से बच्चा कोविड नेगेटिव नहीं हो जाएगा, और टेस्ट नहीं करने से हमारे घर में स्प्रेड होना बंद नहीं हो जाएगा. सो हम अपने आप को और दूसरों को हम बहुत ज्यादा खतरे में डाल रहे हैं. सो अगर बच्चे को फीवर है या अपर रेस्पिरेटरी ट्रैक्ट सिम्टम्स हैं तो प्लीज 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 टेस्ट करवाएं. हैंड हाइजीन के बारे में जो भी मैडम ने बताया है वो हर एक बच्चे को, और ऑफ कोर्स बड़ों को, लेकिन हर एक बच्चे को सिखाना बहुत ज्यादा जरूरी है, क्योंकि ये 3 चीजें जो SMS मैडम ने बताया है उससे हम कोविड का स्प्रेड, ये शायद यही चीजें हैं जिससे हम कोविड का स्प्रेड रोक सकते हैं, और कोई भी चीज नहीं है जिससे हम कोविड का स्प्रेड रोक पाएंगे. So madam, I move on to my next question. Again, I think this is going to be a repetition, so we can just answer it in brief. I'm skipping the questions which we've already taken. How do I protect my child if a family member has now tested positive?
Yes. So at present, what we are seeing, the transmissibility of Omicron is so high कि पूरी family is infected है इस वक्त. घर के जितने भी member है, 4, 5, 6, they are all infected. So now if someone's, your question is if a child is symptomatic, right?
No, ma'am. My question is if the family member has come positive, how do I protect my child now?
Now this family member, assuming that assuming that the person can isolate himself or quarantine himself in one area of the house, you have to keep that person there with N95 if he ever opens the door. Secondly, his food will be placed outside the door. He will just take it in. If it is possible and it is advisable to have a separate bathroom and toilet for that person, so he should not come in contact with anyone. He should wear a N95, and the person or the caretaker should also wear a N95. Secondly, if the person is symptomatic, mild symptomatic, he will, of course, on the advice of a doctor, take paracetamol, steam inhalation, or whatever is required. The danger signs apply to them also. They have to continue their finger pulse ox, hospitalized. If they have comorbidities, they have to be hospitalized. So comorbid people, even with mild symptoms, should be hospitalized. They should not take a chance. They should be in a guidance of a medical person who will keep guiding them daily, at least twice a day, what to do. So and there is there's a monitoring chart. So they can monitor their temperature, respiratory rate, heart rate, pulse oximeter, and convey to their doctor, so that the doctor can give them advice. The rest of the family members remain away from that person completely.
Great. So if any family member tests positive, the ways of stopping the spread of infection remain the same, is isolate that person, and for any other member of the family, see to it that you are not coming in contact with that person even while caring. Keep small children away from infected people. That is the only thing that we can do. Okay. Now, madam, we have heard about, the use of drugs. The treatment in the children is different from how we treat the adults. But just for the understanding of people, that we use steroids, we favipiravir, we use molnupiravir, we have heard about, remdesivir, tocilizumab, all being used for adults. Are these drugs used in children as well?
No, even in the first two waves, the children have been basically managed with symptomatic treatment of oxygen, paracetamol, maybe antibiotics if the fever or the counts are high. Remdesivir has been used very, very rarely in very few cases, and those may be a ventilated child who's very ill or something. Tocilizumab is not used. We have not used it in any children. Coming to favipiravir and molnupiravir, which is there in the market now. Now, favipiravir was given in very mild illnesses in the previous waves. It did not make much effect in many of the people. The fever wouldn't come down. They had to get hospitalized. So I would say it's a 50-50 thing for adults. Coming to molnupiravir, now this it looked like a promising drug. But now, since last week, there are articles coming that it can do more harm, and it is not without serious side effects. So I would not advise that. The bottom line is there is no definite treatment for coronavirus, and whatever drugs have been used have been experimental, and the results in few have come out either in favor or against them. So everyone, it's like, oh, we used it. But then when you study or analyze it after a few weeks, then you find in 100 patients, 50 didn't respond, or 50 had very serious side effects. It did not affect the mortality rate. So then there is nothing definite for coronavirus at present. If something may work for someone, something may not work for the other one. So 100% we cannot say that these drugs are useful. But yes, in children, we have not used them other than remdesivir in very, 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 very few cases. And what we see more in children now is the post-COVID multi-inflammatory syndrome, MIS, and this we are seeing a lot since last year. So these were perhaps the children who had asymptomatic infection or maybe a mild infection, and they got over with it. But a few weeks later, 3 to 6 weeks later, they have come with MISC. So recognizing MISC and treating it properly, that is where we use the steroids, is very important for the pediatricians.
So, ma'am, that was my next question actually about the MISC. So, थोड़ा सा just किस चीजों के बारे में कुछ हफ्तों तक बच्चों के पेरेंट्स ने ध्यान रखना चाहिए, मींस अपीयरेंस ऑफ व्हाट सिम्टम्स कि उनको प्रॉम्प्ट होना चाहिए कि ये शायद पोस्ट कोविड हो सकता है और हमें डॉक्टर की तुरंत सलाह लेनी है. तो थोड़ा सा MISC के सिम्टम्स के बारे में बताएंगे आप पेरेंट्स को प्लीज?
So MISC is multi-inflammatory system disease which we are seeing in children post-COVID. About 3 to 4 weeks later, it is being seen even in newborns. So mother was COVID positive and baby has developed MIS. So here there is high-grade fever. There may be problem in breathing, difficult breathing. There may be fast breathing. There could be a jaundice in the newborn. Secondly, there is either vomiting, diarrhea. So GI symptoms are very common. There may be edema, means सूजन आ रही है हाथ और पाँव पे. And these children are ill-looking children. Basically, they are ill-looking. So to diagnose MISC, we send the COVID antibody test. And if the COVID antibody comes positive, we know this child has had COVID sometime and this is now MISC. So in MISC, we are seeing 3 types. One is fever, high-grade fever, that is inflammatory syndrome. Second, we are seeing a Kawasaki disease presentation, which is a separate entity. And third is multi-system organ or MODS. Now, MODS is the worst because this is with shock. Okay, so this is with shock. KD disease affects the heart. So we have to, once we recognize there's a rash, there is little edema, there's high-grade fever, there is red strawberry tongue, some ulcers on the lips, we have to do a 2D echo to look for coronary arteries because it affects the coronary arteries. And this is the area where we give IVIG or immunoglobulin. And the first one, the FIRS, that is febrile inflammatory response, that is the mildest one of the MIS-C. So once we categorize them which type of MIS-C it is in the newborn or the pediatric age group, we have to promptly start the treatment. So we do a panel of tests. We do CRP, LDH, serum ferritin, etc., which tells us about the, sort of a cytokine storm that the child is having. And then the IVIG and steroids, that is methylprednisolone, are started for 5 to 10 days. IVIG is given stat. And we repeat the test to see if these parameters have come down. So the thing is, unrecognized or a delay in the management of MIC is leading to high mortality.
Absolutely.
So early recognition, early treatment will have better results.
ग्रेट. सो मैडम यही शायद लोगों को समझना जरूरी है कि अडल्ट्स के मैनिफेस्टेशन में और बच्चों के मैनिफेस्टेशंस में फर्क है. अडल्ट्स में जनरली पहले 10-12 दिन निकल गए तो जनरली कॉम्प्लिकेशंस आने के चांसेस बहुत कम रहते हैं, लेकिन बच्चों में पेरेंट्स को एटलीस्ट फॉर नेक्स्ट 4 to 6 वीक्स अगर कोई सिम्टम्स इस तरह से आते हैं, इवन अडल्ट्स में भी आ सकते हैं बट इट इज वेरी वेरी रेयर, बट बच्चों में अगर 4 से 6 हफ्ते तक इस तरह से फीवर, हाई ग्रेड फीवर, दम लगना, रैशेस आ रहे हैं या बच्चा बीमार बहुत ज्यादा लग रहा है, तो प्लीज वो कोविड से रिलेटेड हो सकता है, पोस्ट कोविड हो सकता है, ये थोड़ा सा ध्यान में रख के आप प्लीज तुरंत डॉक्टर को कंसल्ट करिए, इसमें देर नहीं करिए. ओके, सो दिस इज व्हाट.
Here I would like to add, in adults there is post COVID long syndrome.
Yes.
Long COVID syndrome.
Yes.
We have to remember it is a reality. There are neuropsychiatric syndromes, there are heart problems, there is myocarditis persistent, there are sudden heart attacks. A few people you will hear have died after COVID, after a few weeks of heart attack. This could be related to COVID.
Yes.
So long COVID is affecting every system of the body, like persistent joint pains, persistent muscle pains, headaches, so in adult also this long COVID, and that is why the importance कि आप ओमिक्रॉन को माइल्ड मत समझिए. अभी ये इन्फेक्शन माइल्ड लग रहा है बट इसके लॉन्ग कोविड सिंड्रोम्स कोई नहीं जानता है. हमको ये पता नहीं है कि ओमिक्रॉन इन्फेक्शन होने के बाद कुछ महीनों बाद क्या होगा उस इंसान में. So you have to protect yourself even if it is a mild URI causing variant.
Yes. So post-COVID complications in adults are very different from what they are in children. So what we are talking in children is acute and semi-acute is what we are talking, in the earlier phase. And what we see in adults is, probably something related to thromboembolism phenomena or, other things which we may see, and everybody of course has to be careful. COVID के बाद अगर कोई भी चीज आपको लगती है कि abnormal है, so it can be very well related to COVID in a later phase. So please do not disregard it and please consult your doctor. ASAP at the earliest. Okay. So madam, I'm going to put forward certain now scenarios, क्योंकि अब घर में बड़े हैं, बुजुर्ग हैं, घर में बच्चे हैं, बहुत अलग अलग सिनेरियोज हमारे सामने आते हैं कि अलग अलग तरह से लोग इन्फेक्ट हुए हैं. तो हमारे सुनने वालों को प्लीज थोड़ा सा गाइड करिए कि अलग अलग सिनेरियो में उन्हें क्या करना चाहिए. So one is if the mother and her child, they both are positive. So this is the first scenario.
Yes, अभी सबसे पहली बात यह है कि कोई भी बच्चा पॉजिटिव होता है, चाहे वो घर पे रहे या हॉस्पिटल में रहे, माँ के बिना नहीं रह सकता है. तो एक केयर टेकर जरूरी है. बहुत छोटा बच्चा है तो माँ ही जरूरी है, क्योंकि माँ छाती का दूध पिलाती है या खाना खिलाती है, तो बच्चे की केयर के लिए माँ जरूरी है. अब इस सिनेरियो में माँ और बच्चा दोनों पॉजिटिव है तो उनको आइसोलेट होना पड़ेगा, जैसे मैंने बताया है, घर में, और उनकी देखभाल किसी और को करनी पड़ेगी. यहाँ पे ये भी कहना चाहूंगी कि अगर माता पिता वैक्सीनेटेड है, they will do a lot of good for their family. Okay, so the caretaker also should be vaccinated. तो अगर वो माँ घर पे बच्चे की देखभाल कर रही है या वो बच्चे को माँ अस्पताल में देखभाल कर रही है और उसने खुद वैक्सीन लिया हुआ है, तो she herself has protected herself from severe illness or death. If the child is positive, mother and father are not positive, even then the mother has to look after the child, or the father, whoever has to stay, should be vaccinated. The caretaker has to be vaccinated, has to follow all the precautions, because the child cannot stay without a parent. True. So whether at home or hospital, one parent has to take care of the child. Preferable to wear a N95 mask and keep the child with them.
Yes, madam. And if there is an infant baby who is on mother's milk, dependent on mother's milk, can the mother breastfeed the child?
100%, 101%, I would say. She has to continue breastfeeding the baby. She cannot stop the breastfeeding. Unless she herself is so ill or she is in hospital or ICU that the baby is not with her, then she may not breastfeed. But otherwise, she has to breastfeed.
Madam, if the mother is COVID positive, but the children are not even symptomatic. So in that case, you have already answered, but just to complete the scenario.
So like I said, if the children are old enough and can be taken care of by someone else, then they should be isolated from the mother. Mother has to quarantine herself. But if the patient is small, like less than 2-year-old child who will not stay without the mother, then she has to keep the baby. But when the baby is being breastfed, she has to properly follow the respiratory and hand hygiene, breastfeed the baby and keep the baby away. Means she is not continuously with the baby, but she continues feeding with proper hygiene.
So I think this answers the next question कि अगर बच्चा पॉजिटिव है और पेरेंट्स नेगेटिव है, तो बच्चा अगर बहुत छोटा है तो पेरेंट्स को देखभाल करनी ही पड़ेगी, बट विथ ऑल द प्रॉपर प्रिकॉशंस. और बच्चा अगर बड़ा है तो उसको प्लीज आइसोलेट करके उसको अपना केयर कैसा करना है वो पेरेंट्स को बताना है. And of course, the most advisable scenario would be that the parents are vaccinated so that they are better off. I mean, they will be catching, if at all they catch the infection, it will be a milder infection. मैडम, एक हम बहुत चीज देखते हैं कि अगर बच्चा अपने घर में कोई भी पॉजिटिव आ गया और बच्चे अगर नेगेटिव हैं या बच्चों को सिम्टम्स नहीं है, तो या तो ग्रैंड पेरेंट्स के पास भेज दिया जाता है या घर में किसी और मेंबर्स के पास भेज दिया जाता है. सो इसके बारे में आप क्या कहेंगे?
तो अगर बच्चा नेगेटिव है, आप उसको ग्रैंड पेरेंट्स के पास बिल्कुल नहीं भेजेंगे, क्योंकि वो फिर भी उनको इन्फेक्ट कर सकता है. एक टाइम का टेस्ट doesn't tell you that he is negative. If there are positive people in the house, he may become positive a few days later. So elderly people have to be protected at all cost. Children should not be sent to grandparents' house. That is one. They can be sent to some other relative's house. And if it is not possible even to do that, then like I said, the positive person has to take care and keep away from the children by wearing proper mask and isolate. अभी क्वारंटाइन का मीनिंग क्यों है? क्योंकि एक तो रेस्पिरेटरी इन्फेक्शन नहीं लगता है, दूसरा जो भी चीज हम छूते हैं, वी टॉक अबाउट सैनिटाइजिंग द थिंग्स व्हिच आर मोस्ट फ्रीक्वेंटली टच्ड, लाइक डोर नॉब्स, डोर हैंडल्स. So we want them, the infected person, to be away because they should not be touching these things which are touched by other people also. That is why we say इसको isolate करो और फिर sanitize करो रूम को. Okay, so there are a lot of sprays available now. कुछ नहीं है तो साबुन और पानी है साफ करने के लिए। तो द थिंग इज, ये पर्सन जो क्वारंटाइन हो जाता है, ये कुछ भी चीज छूता भी नहीं है, और इसके खाने पीने की प्लेट और ग्लास भी अलग रखी जाती है। जो आप उसको खाना दे रहे हैं कमरे में, दैट यूटेंसिल इज केप्ट सेपरेट। वो बर्तन अलग रख के धोने हैं। दैट बर्तन ऑल्सो नोबडी हैज टू यूज। सो इफ यू कैन फॉलो दिस,
True.
then but it becomes, see, these are all practical problems because you don't have a big house ki you can give one room to one infected person. So the best thing is ki avoid interaction, don't be in the same room with that person, keep a well ventilated house, खिड़की दरवाजे हमारे खुले होने चाहिए जिससे एयर की मूवमेंट होती रहे। सो वो वायरस एक जगह ठहरेगा नहीं, एक कमरे में नहीं ठहरेगा। एंड यू कैन क्लीन द सर्फेसेस once or twice a day.
Yes. क्लीनिंग द सर्फेसेस इस वक्त शायद बहुत ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है, क्योंकि इस वक्त हम जो देख रहे हैं वो अपर रेस्पिरेटरी ट्रैक्ट इन्फेक्शन ज्यादा देख रहे हैं, हम ज्यादा रनिंग नोज देख रहे हैं, हम ज्यादा खांसी देख रहे हैं, हम ज्यादा लोगों को स्नीज करते हुए देख रहे हैं। सो इससे, जैसे मैडम ने बताया, अप टू 10 feet द वायरस कैन द माइक्रो ड्रॉपलेट्स एंड द माइक्रो ड्रॉपलेट्स दे विल ट्रैवल अप टू 10 feet। तो इस वक्त सर्फेसिस पे सेटल होना और ये जो ट्रांसमिशन है वो बहुत ज्यादा मायने रखता है। तो इसके लिए सैनिटाइजेशन बहुत जरूरी है। और प्लीज, घर में बाकी के लोग पॉजिटिव आते हैं तो बच्चों को नेगेटिव समझ के प्लीज ग्रैंड पेरेंट्स के घर पे मत भेज दीजिए, क्योंकि बच्चे इन्फेक्शन स्प्रेड कर सकते हैं। दे मे बी कैरिंग एन इन्फेक्शन जो अब तक दिख नहीं रहा है, और ग्रैंड पेरेंट्स को सबसे ज्यादा धोखा होने का चांस रहता है, क्योंकि बिकॉज ऑफ देयर एज एंड बाय द वर्च्यू ऑफ देयर कोमॉर्बिडिटीज उनको सबसे ज्यादा प्रॉब्लम्स कोविड की वजह से आने की संभावना होती है। सो बच्चों को जितना हो सके उतना ग्रैंड पेरेंट्स, सीनियर सिटीजन से दूर रखें if they fall sick or if you have somebody else in the family who's positive. Ma'am, one very bad scenario which I'm putting forward, suppose everybody in the family is hospitalized or too sick to take care of the child, what is to be done?
Yes, so अभी इस बारे में भी टास्क फोर्स ने सोचा है कि अगर बच्चों की देखभाल करने के लिए कोई नहीं है तो क्या किया जाए। So actually at such time the authorities or the administration should keep the baby patient under guidance of some neighbor or a relative, or if nothing, then I do not know if they can be admitted, because you need a caretaker. Nobody can admit a child when there is no caretaker with the child. So it will depend upon the administration to take care of the child, or some neighbor or relative who has to look after the children. Yes. But as of now, there is no facility where children are kept if there is no one to take care of them.
So community will have to play a
community
role.
Or the BMC
Yes.
will have to
look after. You have to please inform the authorities in any such case, and yes, something can be worked out with the help of the community and the authorities working together.
Yeah, unfortunately, if you all know, the first and second waves have killed both the parents.
Absolutely.
There are many orphans we have.
Yes.
And it is our duty to help these orphans.
Absolutely.
They are left with nobody.
Absolutely. Fine. So, ma'am, my child has now tested COVID positive 1 week ago. Okay, this is a scenario. Okay, but my child is due for the vaccinations, the routine vaccinations we are talking, not yet about the COVID vaccine, but my child is now due for the COVID, rather the routine vaccinations. What should be done in this case? My child had tested COVID positive a week ago.
So now, since we know in children, we are not using any strong drugs or steroids, the vaccination of the child has to be continued as per schedule. This is what we have come out with, that even if a newborn is there who had COVID or MIS-C, has to be vaccinated before he leaves the hospital. So there is no change in the vaccination policy. All children are to be vaccinated as per schedule.
So do we recommend a 2-week gap between the person having any viral infection and the routine vaccinations being continued again?
Yes, you can keep a 2-week gap. There is no this thing, because the antibody of the virus is going to remain for months.
True.
In the body. So if we have not used steroids, if we have not used any other drugs in our child, you can give the vaccination.
Madam, I would like you to guide people regarding the COVID vaccination, which has started in adolescents, and what is the future saying like, will it be introduced for, younger children in future? What is the Indian scenario?
Yeah, so now the vaccination for the 15 to 18 years age has started. And what we have seen is that in the second wave and even now in the early third wave, the age group that is being maximally affected is 18 to 35 years age group. In the first wave, it was a senior citizens, 60 plus with comorbidities. Second wave, the younger age group has been affected. And now, like I told you, 11 to 20 years, we already had our data. But the vaccine which is there in India, the vaccines which are available, whichever vaccine is available in your area, it is advisable to take it because it will give you some percentage of protection. No vaccine gives 100% protection. And we are having 2 doses of the vaccination. So it boosts the immunity in the second dose. And now since they had these studies and they found that 6-8 months down the line, even the vaccine immunity is waning off. So they have come up with a booster dose now, which will definitely boost the immunity towards the coronavirus. The problem is that because there are variants which are appearing, which seem to have a vaccine escape, means in spite of being vaccinated, you can be infected with a new variant. But there has been 100% results saying that vaccine prevent ICU admission and death. So if whatever variant is around, if you are vaccinated, you are protected 100% from ICU and death. So the maximum people landing up in ICU in a bad shape and even losing lives are people who are not vaccinated. So it is advisable and wise to take vaccine.
So it has started for 15 to 18 years so far, and I think it is in pipeline to reduce the age up to 12 years. I think it is coming in near future.
Studies are on.
Yes.
Studies are going on still. The trials are on. That we will now vaccinate even younger. Means we'll come to 12 to 15.
12 to 15. Group. Yes.
Then we'll come to 5 to 12 age group. So
yes,
it is being done gradually.
Absolutely.
And it is in the best interest of everyone, the vaccine. So
true,
having a vaccine hesitancy or a fear, many people spread rumors about the vaccine, that the vaccine damages your genetics and vaccine does this, vaccine does that. And believe me, what we see on our WhatsApp, I mean, WhatsApp is one of the most notorious for spreading good and bad news also. So what we are seeing is those people who were preaching against the vaccine, especially in US and all, have already died of COVID.
Yes.
And at younger age, they were young people and they were anti-vaxxers, preaching against vaccine, preaching against wearing mask. Unfortunately, they have succumbed.
True.
So please don't listen to all that.
Absolutely. So, getting vaccinated is, I think, rather the best service that you can do for yourself, for your family, and for the community at large. Because, having immunization, mass immunization is probably one way by which we can, work against the repeated waves of COVID, which are going to come. I mean, whatever we may do.
So one thing people have to remember is, we have all vaccinated our children in their childhood. Right from birth, BCG, polio, DPT, we have given them vaccines. Has that harmed them? No, it has not harmed. We are vaccinating the young children. So now when there is a vaccine for adults, why the hesitancy?
Exactly. And the total effect you are going to be seeing after a few years when, like a mass is vaccinated. It's not going to be an immediate effect, but as you rightly said, vaccines will reduce the morbidity and the mortality in patients, the rate of complications in patients, and nobody can stop, please, one thing has to be understood. Nothing can stop the virus from entering your body. And that is the reason that you will get infected. But it is the entire thing, how your virus will enter into your body and your body will respond towards it. So the entire response that your body gives to the virus will be dependent on if there are antibodies present in your body. So if there are vaccine-induced antibodies already present in your body, the response that your body is going to give to the virus is going to be very, very robust, and that is going to give you lesser infection and lesser complications. So please be preachers for vaccinations and take this message forward that vaccination is extremely important and it should be done by all. So ma'am, we come towards the end of our, this session. Just a little bit of things here and there, that for very small children, what are the advices regarding masks, the usage of masks?
Okay, so like I said, any child above the age of 5 years, you have to make that child wear a mask, okay, if he's comfortable. I have seen children as young as 2 years wearing a mask. They are comfortable with it. They want the mask, they wear it on. But let it be a good quality 3-layer mask of their size. It has to be a proper fit, not hanging loose. Then it doesn't serve the purpose. So yes, and as of now, only cloth masks are available for children. The 3-layer ply, nobody has developed for children, smaller size. So you can have a good cloth mask of 3 layers fitting to the child. And remember, if you've worn it for a day, please wash it, wear another. So you need to have 3-4 masks, for rotating. So every day the mask has to be washed in hot water and detergent after soaking in it, properly cleaned, rinsed and dried. So you should have 3-4 masks so that you can use in rotation, one every day. Do not keep reusing the mask. And yes, make them wear a mask.
And please do not wash surgical mask. Please do not wash N95 mask.
They are disposable masks.
Exactly. Yeah. After use, if they become wet or, after a day's use, try and dispose it off. Or if at all, you are running short of mask, you can keep it, probably air dry it for, say, 3 or 4 days, and then probably you can reuse again.
That's
so you
what
can have a set of
doing.
The first,
the doctors were doing. Yeah, we have 5 masks and we rotate.
We used to rotate it. Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Madam, now a very, very, very pertinent question that the schools and colleges had started working, and the parents had developed some courage of sending the children to school and colleges. So what now?
Yes.
What now in the current
So after a lot of deliberation and multiple debates and discussion, even the Maharashtra task force and the chief minister, they opened the schools. So in Mumbai, they opened very late, but in the rural areas and interiors where the cases were already less, they had started much earlier. So the guidelines are in place for schools also. All vaccinated staff, all vaccinated helpers, vaccinated drivers, all class 4, class 3 people also vaccinated apart from the teachers. That was one criteria. Second was keeping the distance between the benches, like we are talking about distancing, keeping liquid hand dispensers everywhere, foot operated. Then, a ready flow of soap and water in the toilets. So teaching the children to wash hands, and of course, wearing a mask in school also. Apart from this, there was to keep a designated eating area. So children are not eating around everywhere. There is a designated food area, eating area, and they are left in batches. So staggering the lunch break. So पहले 10-50 लोग एक क्लासरूम के जाके खाना खा लेते हैं, sitting separately. Then a next batch is released to go and have food. So there should be no crowding in the food area, because again, that is a place where people remove masks for eating.
Perfect.
So you are following CAB everywhere, and in the eating area, the CAB is forgotten. That doesn't serve the purpose again. So staggering of the food time, the lunch time, that is what was advised. So there were certain guidelines raised. And then of course, bus travel. So AC buses we were not allowing. We said keep the buses ventilated and open. Or if the parents can drop their child to the school and take them back, okay, because most parents are working, they can't do that. So, bus full of students, or rickshaws overcrowded with students. So all those guidelines were placed, those are not to be followed. And the other thing we had said, 50% attendance today, 50% online, and then you interchange it. So alternate day, 50% children come physically, 50% are online. So again, there will be less crowd in the school. And that is how the schools were started. But unfortunately, the third wave came And it is so highly infectious and contagious that again the schools have been stopped for 4 weeks. So this is also to protect the children, because they will come home with the infection and then infect the rest of the household. So
yes, so
as of unfortunately, yeah.
Yes, as of now, that is the scenario, that the schools and colleges are closed as of now. And I think, madam, they are still functioning for the 10th and the 12th class, are they?
Yeah, I think up to 8th they have stopped. But today, tomorrow onwards, everything is stopped.
Everything.
All schools, colleges are closed.
Great. So yes, see, this is an evolving situation. This is a fluid situation. I mean, every decision will have to be taken as the scene changes, as the scenario changes. So we get so many things coming on WhatsApp that why did you vaccinate? What was the thing to vaccinate? If this was to happen, then, you know, why did you make people go through this unnecessary exercise? And rather, I'm speaking is better words, but what we hear is very, very, very crude words. But we must understand that vaccinations is not going to work overnight. It is going to protect you and your family in the long run. What is safe, what is important is to come alive out of every wave, you know, and to come alive with good health out of every wave. And, probably eventually the waves will lose, their infectivity, or rather what we can say, their the severity with which they are affecting the people. It's like it will become ours later, you know, like how the flu and the swine flu, what we had heard before, that initially there was a big hue and cry, and then it became such a milder version that, you know, now it has become ours. We don't even think much if there is any flu otherwise. So this is how probably eventually, we do not know how many months, how many years down the line, but eventually this virus also may tame down to that level, that it will be a milder virus. And probably then, we will realize the importance of the vaccination and the programs that are being done today. But till then, we need to stay safe and come out of every wave, you know, with flying colors. So ma'am, your take home message. I mean, we finish, and after that, we'll take up the question answer session from the audience. But before we finish that, please, your take home message, ma'am.
So my take home message would be that there is still time for the pandemic to end. And we don't know how many more waves we'll be seeing. So till each country reports the lowest level of cases for a few weeks or months, you know, we don't know when we come down to the lowest level, when we can say, yes, the pandemic has ended. We cannot let our guards down. Okay, we have to follow SMS. We have to vaccinate ourselves. And no one is safe till everyone is safe. So let us all hope for the best, prepare for the worst. I mean, God willing, let's be optimistic that this Omicron, which is a mild strain, replaces the Delta strain completely.
Sure.
And so it remains as a mild strain, like influenza is in the community. Omicron or coronavirus is going to remain in the community. It's
Absolutely.
not going to go, but we want the milder strain to be here. So for that to happen, no one can predict when, how many months, maybe a year more. So we have to continue wearing masks for a year more. We have to continue with COVID appropriate behavior for at least a year more. And we have to vaccinate ourselves. So even the vaccine may change. As the strain changes, we may have newer vaccine coming up. We cannot say. Something which will cover and help us against all strains. So I think India is doing a very good job.
Very good job.
Where vaccine production is concerned. We have done a tremendous job in production, administration. At the rate we have vaccinated crores of people, I mean, it's really commendable, commendable.
True.
And if we want ourselves to be safe, and if we want our family to be safe, I think it is wise to follow all the rules. Yes. You cannot be careless. You cannot be careless.
True. So Government of India basically as of now for 15 to 18 years has allowed Covaxin. If anybody has got any doubts which vaccine to take, only Covaxin is allowed for the 15 to 18 years. Somebody asked a question about the booster dose. So in adults, in healthcare workers, basically there is, if you are vaccinated 9 months back, you can take up a booster dose if you are a healthcare worker, or if you are above 60 years, government has allowed you to take take a booster dose. So
6 months.
6 months. So you please contact your nearest, healthcare center or the vaccination center, and they have allowed a walk-in. Means you do not have to even register on the CoWIN portal. So you can just walk in and you can show your previous certificate and you can take a booster dose. So please do that. And now with this, madam, I mean, I really cannot thank you enough for, giving such an appropriate understanding to everyone and guidance to everyone regarding these various aspects of COVID in children. And now the forum is open for anybody who wishes to ask question. Please raise your hand and I'll unmute you one by one. I'll invite you to ask your own question. If you want to ask question, you may even ask your question in the chat box and we'll take it up. So anybody wishes to ask the question, please raise your hand and I'll invite you individually.
Thank you very much, Archana. Can I ask one question?
Please, please.
Yes. During this period of Omicron, how to boost the psychology of the children, because they are a bit afraid of all this scenario. So how it is possible?
Very, very important topic. I must say, I forgot to say about the mental health during the COVID times. And we know that as a healthcare worker myself, I have been affected badly by the COVID fear and anxiety. And a lot of people have been affected because they were unable to leave their house for so long. They were unable to go to their jobs. People have lost jobs. So it has mentally affected a lot of adults also. Maybe a few have ended their lives out of desperation for, no job, no money. It has equally affected the mental health of children very badly. And this is a place where we as a parent or as a caretaker or as a medical professional should look into the matter, because there have been behavior changes in children. There has been, because they are not meeting their friends for play and all. Now they have started meeting, but in 2020, it was worse, I think, when schools were not on, they could not go out of the house. Everything has affected them, and this is a very deep subject, which I don't think I can cover in few minutes. But yes, if you find your child, he has sort of, withdrawn from his daily activities, if he is appearing to be, lost in his thoughts, not interested in food, he needs immediate attention from a psychiatrist, from a psychologist. Other than that, we have seen aggressive behavior. I would like to share, I did a small study last year during the 2020 strict lockdown and a few months following that up to September. The head injuries cases increased in our hospitals like anything. In my own unit, we had about 21, 22 children with injuries, head injuries. Means they didn't know what to do. So they must be doing masti at home. They have fallen from here, fallen from there at home. And they came with serious head injuries. So I did a small study and I published it. So one thing we saw, that injuries in children have increased in spite of parents being at home. Okay, so they had a lot of trauma, or child abuse increased. I do not know. Maybe, in frustration, parents were even beating their children up. So child abuse has increased. All this has affected the mental health of the children. Now, the situation is such that they have become comfortable at home. They don't want to go to school. So they say, online kar lenge. Okay, so they have got into a lazy mode. तो वो सुबह 6 बजे उठना, 7 बजे की बस पकड़ना, फिर स्कूल में रहना, शाम को घर आना. They don't know. And the very young children don't even know what school is. वो 4, 5, 6 साल की उम्र में जब एडमिशन हो जाता था, these children don't know what is school. So we have regressed in academics in children. We have regressed. And in adolescent, mental depression, suicidal tendencies have gone up. Addiction to mobile media has gone up. So apart from dealing with COVID and the post-COVID situation, this is another epidemic that we have to deal with, that of mental health. True. It's not visible, but it is there.
Absolutely. So basically, COVID has affected not only physically, but also psychologically, and a lot of psychological rehabilitation probably is going to be needed. Once probably as and when, the life starts coming back to normal, and nobody really knows when is that going to be. So it's going to be ups and downs. It's going to be starts and closures, and we will have to be prepared for, anything and everything that is thrown our way, by COVID. So yeah, any more questions, please?
Yeah, I can see one over here that if there is a person with mild fever and pulse rate is 100 to 120. Now, with every degree rise of fever, the pulse rate increases by 10. So the pulse rate should be taken when the person does not have fever. And if it is still over 100, then yes, it is a matter of concern.
Yes. Yes, Dr. Suneet Upasni, please unmute yourself.
Madam, it is very heartening that in this pandemic, the children are more motivated in wearing this mask. And it is really heartening that when I see my patients in the OPD, when the parents are not wearing the mask, it is the child who says, "Ma'am, I too mask nahi ghatle." No, it's very heartening in this that the children are more motivated than the adults. I mean, madam, it was an excellent presentation.
Thank you.
And as a pediatrician and as a teacher like you, and hearing it from you you made our day. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you.
And there's one more question. Is there any role for monoclonal antibody? What is written is cocktail antibody. Any role of monoclonal antibodies in children?
Not at all, not used.
Yes, and rather in the third wave, what we are seeing is more of Omicrons, and monoclonal antibodies are not seen to work on the Omicron infections, though we do not know whether the infection that the patient is suffering from Omicron or Delta. But if it was Omicron, monoclonal antibodies do not work on it. So yes, as Madam rightly said, they do not have any role in children. Yes, Selvarajan sir, please ask your question. You can unmute yourself. Please unmute yourself, sir. Sir, I'm asking you to unmute yourself. If you have to just click on that button, you will get a button there. Yeah, yes, sir. You are unmuted. Please ask your question.
Regarding the saturation, madam, in children. Hello.
Yes, sir, you are audible. Please ask.
Yes.
Madam, he has asked regarding saturation.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the saturation cutoff is the same as that of adults, and that is 94%. So a person who is symptomatic but saturations are about 94, we assume it to be a mild disease and we just continue to monitor that child. Of course, if that child has comorbidities, advisable to admit the child in hospital. Now, by comorbidity, I mean any child with congenital disorders, child with congenital heart disease, renal disease, thalassemias, other illnesses like nephrotic syndrome, tuberculosis, or a child with malignancy, leukemia, on steroids, on treatment. All these constitute morbidity. And of course, now because of obesity, it is a major comorbidity in children. So obesity and diabetes. So these are some of the comorbid conditions where even if the saturation is 94 or above, advisable to admit that child in the hospital for proper management. If the child is at home or the adult is at home with a mild illness, monitoring their saturation, and if the saturation falls below 94%, advisable to go to a hospital because you need oxygen therapy.
So, madam, there is a question regarding molnupiravir. If you permit me, I'll just answer that molnupiravir is permitted for use above 18 years of age. 18 to 60, it is to be used with discretion, not to be given to people of childbearing age, if possible, because it has got effects of teratogenicity, which is observed. Above 60, yes, it has come in the current guidelines that above 60, it can be used as a 5-day therapy. So I now invite Dr. Supriya Arwari. Madam, please unmute yourself. Yeah. Yeah, Dr. Supriya. Yeah, hi.
Yeah, hi. Madam, excellent presentation, and thank you, Jyotitai and Archana, for continuously continuing this series. Madam, my question to you is, as you already mentioned, that child sexual abuse has gone up, and I have pediatric surgery friends who mentioned that children are committing child abuse on other children. So how would you, want the parents to be careful or prevent this? or protect their children from this kind of child abuse? What tips would you like to give them?
See, now child abuse has by the family members or by
I particularly mean sexual abuse, ma'am.
Yes. Now, sexual abuse is something which happens, unfortunately, quite commonly even in families, but it is not reported.
Yes, ma'am.
It is not reported. And the cases that are reported, you know, there is a whole procedure to be followed. And the person who has committed the crime gets imprisoned under POXCO Act.
Yeah.
Okay. So it is an extremely strict act, that POXO Act. So anyone who's caught doing anything, it may not be even a complete sexual abuse, even if it is showing pornography, touching inappropriately, that person lands in jail. Now, the incidence of sexual abuse has gone up perhaps in the COVID times. And this is something very difficult to bring out because people do not disclose it. Okay. To control it is equally different because we cannot go into each household, you know, to look into the matter. But yes, on a general scale, it is better to be alert. And whenever we can, we need to educate the families and the parents to protect their children. So for that, you should teach your child, you be friendly with your child and tell them if there is any inappropriate behavior done to them, they should report it to them immediately. Not fearing anybody.
Yes, ma'am.
So from a very young age, from an age where a child understands, maybe from 2-3 years of age, all you have to tell them is which are the areas which nobody is allowed to touch.
Correct.
Other than the parent. So good touch, bad touch, and the areas which nobody should be touching. And tell the child, if it happens, come and tell me immediately. So this is one thing. As they grow older, you know, approaching puberty and adolescent, it is extremely important that a mother sits with the girl and starts explaining to her. One, what are the pubertal changes which are going to happen in her? Again, how menstruation will be starting, how she has to protect herself, because that adolescent phase is a very, you know, it's a years of weakness. A weakness in the sense, adolescent is attracted towards the opposite gender. And when they get attraction, or if they are getting attention from someone, very easily to slip into that mode of physical intimacy or something. So it becomes very important that a mother tells her child that she is now an adolescent. She has to have friends. Okay, mix boys and girls, but no special boyfriend, no physical intimacy. Be a healthy friendship. Let it be a healthy friendship. And also teach them that there is, you know, attraction towards the males or males for females, and refrain from a physical intimacy or relationship with any boy. Tell them there is an age for everything.
Correct.
So it's okay to have boyfriend, girlfriends, but no physical intimacy. And when the age is appropriate, they will get married for whatever purpose.
Yeah.
So if the girl is educated, because being in JJ, we get high court cases of MTP, medical termination of pregnancy, of underage girls as young as 11, 12, 13.
Oh my God.
With advanced stage of pregnancy beyond 20, 22 weeks, the cutoff for the MTP. And these girls are very young, and we have to give the permission for the medical termination. So not all of them are rape cases. If it had been rape, it would have been reported earlier. Okay, now how does a parent wake up to the fact that my girl is 25 weeks pregnant? Why are they reporting it now? So it is apparent that this girl has been in a consensual relationship with someone. It is not always rape.
Correct.
A rape should be reported much earlier. So many weeks down the line. So the girl has not been able to, understand, or she got carried away. So in today's times, I think it is introduced in the school curriculum also. What are the biological listing of a male and female? And that is the time in school you should start telling them about their sexuality, about prevention of teenage pregnancy and all this. It's a very liberal society now. You have your children going out for parties and this and that. And that is a place where they may indulge in such activities. So just educate them everything about their own body, about the, sexual relationships, about pregnancy, about such things. And believe me, even after an MTP, the mental trauma remains in that girl. It's a cesarean section. That child has a scar for life on the abdomen. So these are some of the things that a girl suffers more than a boy. Boys get away with it, but it's a girl who suffers. So I think being a friend with your adolescent girl, teaching her everything, knowing who her friends are, where she goes, whom she meets. And that is why I think most parents keep a strict deadline for the girl, come home before 7, come home before it's dark and such things. But don't be so strict. So if your girl is well knowledgeable, yes, and if she's confident, and if you're a friend, I think you can control this behavior to a lot of extent. So she will not allow anyone to abuse her also. But on a safer ground, any woman, even us, we should refrain from going out anywhere alone, especially at night or late evenings, because nothing is safe. Even in Mumbai city, nothing is safe. So a woman of any age is not safe.
So basically, for all those who do not know, we have, conducted a session on child sexual abuse awareness, that was held in the month of October. And the session is presently also available on the YouTube. We have our channel with the name of Teen Talk, that is capital TEEN space TALK, Teen Talk. So even today's session will be available on the same channel, probably by today evening or tomorrow morning. So anybody who wishes to go back and see the previous recordings, you're most welcome to do that. So madam, we take the last 2 questions which are there in the chat box. One question is that what is the dose of Covaxin? I think that would be the same, but what is the duration of distance between the 2 doses?
In children, 2 doses, 28 days apart, 28 to 30 days apart. Higher limit is 42 days.
Okay.
So 2 doses of Covaxin for children. Normal saturation in adults is about 94-95% for any age group. And Dr. Dhiren Kalawadia has written about list of hospitals available for pediatric COVID hospitalization. Well, for JJ group, it is St. George Hospital. Even the BMC hospitals have their own COVID wards, Sion, KEM, Nair, etc., Kasturba. And the BMC has made these COVID jumbo centers, like the one in BKC or Goregaon. And I think on the central line also there are a few. So you have these COVID care centers. So I think there are helplines to them, and if need be, anyone can contact and go there. The best thing is that someone has to examine the patient, whether it's a child or an adult, decide whether it's a mild illness which can be home quarantined, or it is an illness which needs hospitalization, so that we do not overburden the centers with mild cases, and then a deserving patient will not get a bed. So that has to be understood.
And again, for a COVID infection, the scenario is always dynamic, that the patient's condition may be good today, but say 4 days down the line, the condition may be different. So at every step, the doctor will be, examining your child and will be assessing as to where category or what level of problem the child is having or the adult is having. And then the advice may change as per the condition of the patient at that point in time. So please understand, it's not what you start with is going to remain the same. So with this, madam, we come to the end of today's session, and I cannot thank you enough because it's been such an elaborate session. And I think you have, given a small list of advices as to what is to be done in which situation. And the points are going to be very, very clear for everybody who has listened to today's session and probably will be hearing the recording, later. So thank you so much, madam. And one last question, I think that is pertinent. What is coming here is N95 safe for children. So if you can just quickly answer that, then we can move on further.
Yes, N95 is safe for children. Unfortunately, the small size is not available. So what we have in the market is all adult size, and even that doesn't fit for so many people, because the facial structure is small, so if you have to wear, it has to be a tight fitting mask with no air leak anywhere. So I hope and I pray that now it's 2 years. No company has come out with a specific good mask for pediatric age group. So we should be having good masks for small children. Yeah.
So, madam, I think you've made it amply clear. Simple cloth mask is of no use. At least it should be a 3-layer mask, and otherwise a 3-ply surgical mask or an N95. And if anybody is infected, N95 is always more advisable so that you stop the spread of infection for the person who's infected and for the caregiver. N95 would be very much advisable. So with this, madam, we come to the end of today's session, and please allow me to present to you certificate of appreciation. So, ma'am, from the Mission Pink Health, with a big thank you, I herewith present to you the certificate of appreciation for giving your expert guidance during the community guidance webinar, COVID in Children, organized by Mission Pink Health, IMA Maharashtra State on Sunday, that is today, 9 January 2022, under the Teen Talk series, ma'am. Thank you so very much. And, we would like your help, in future as well on different other topics. And we really request you that please do help us with the future sessions. So with this, ma'am, would you like to say anything, or we can move ahead with the end of the program?
I would like to thank everyone, and I thank you for inviting me.
Ma'am, it's a pleasure and honor is entirely ours, ma'am. Thank you so much. So with this, just a small announcement that our next session under the Teen Talk series is on 23rd of January. And the next topic is going to be anger management in children in the different age groups. And it is going to be taken by Dr. Prashant Karya. The timing will remain the same, 11 a.m. And, you can keep watching the space wherever you look for the today's announcement of programs. It will be there on WhatsApp, and we'll try to send invites on mails also. So please do join us for our next session on the anger management in children. And with this, we come to the end of today's session, and I now hand over to Dr. Jyoti Chudgupkar for taking it forward.
Thank you very much, Archana. It's really my great pleasure to thank you, both of you. It's my pleasure to thank Dr. Bela Verma, madam, for this very interactive, excellent, and very informative session, which will definitely help us to tackle this third wave in children, especially adolescents, with vaccination, who are being vaccinated, and again appeal to all the parents, all the teachers, all the doctors to spread the message of vaccination in 15 to 19-year age of the children. And really, I congratulate as well as thank Dr. Archana Pate, madam, for conducting such a interactive and very good session for all of us. I thank you, Dr. Suhas Pingai, sir, our president, Dr. Mangesh Pate, sir, and our honorary secretary and team, Indian Medical Association, Maharashtra State, for allowing such type of Teen Talk series and supporting it. Then thirdly, I would like to thank Dr. Archana Bhandekar for conducting very nicely this session, and all our office bearers of Mission Pink Health. And last but not at all least, all the attendees and participants in the discussion of this very important and timely session on